Islam, peace be upon him, himself, in his prediction. Sayati ala nasi zamanun la yabqa min al-Islam illa ismuhu wa la yabqa min al-Quran illa rasmuhu. What a tragic prediction to be made by any prophet, particularly by the greatest of all of them, who took mankind from the lowest rungs and raised them to their loftiest platform. He was shown so clearly the tragic end of the Muslim people, not end, but a period, the most tragic period through which they would pass ultimately in the latter days. And he was made to predict that a time, most unfortunate time is going to come, an age is going to set upon mankind, when Islam will be left only in name, not in reality. When the Holy Quran would be left only for the scribes to write, but it would not be written on the hearts of people. It would not run into the blood of people. It would be just a beautiful scribe, a scripture and nothing more. So, this is what I mean by taking people away from light is a very special feature of prophethood. When the prophets are no longer there, gradually we begin to travel from light to darkness. And this process is bound to ripen. There is no doing away with it. No number of mujaddideen can arrest this process, unfortunately. Had mujaddideen been capable of arresting this process entirely and reversing it, the Holy Prophet of Islam could never have made this prediction that Sayati ala nasi zamanun la yabqa min al-Islam ismuhu wa la yabqa min al-Quran illa rasmuhu musajiduhum amiratun wa yakhrabu min al-huda. Apparently their mosques would be full. As you go visit mosques of the other Muslims everywhere in the world, particularly during Ramadan, they are so full. You see, you're surprised. But the Holy Prophet of Islam was told 1400 years ago by Allah himself that they would be apparently full, but they would be empty of guidance. There would not be light of Allah in those mosques. These are the unfortunate times we are witnessing, we are passing through. If these are not the times, as mentioned in these predictions, if the mullahs would insist that we are still passing through the time of light and the time is darkness is yet to set in, then you can imagine the extent of that darkness. Oh God, save us. The torture of witnessing that darkness, which would be compared dark as compared to the present day. If this is not darkness, what darkness is? I mean, you can't conceive, you can't imagine anything else. And that is a very, very bad omen, very sad omen for the future of Islam, if we believe that. That this prophecy has not yet come to be fulfilled, so we must wait for the worst to come. Is that what they augur for Islam? No, not at all. This prophecy has been fulfilled in detail. And the following prophecies were expected to be filled in the wake of this. And as we see, as Ahmadis, those prophecies have also been fulfilled with the grace of Allah. And a prophet did come to usher us back from darkness to light. And we are witnessing that light. We are passing through that age of broadening daylight. With the passage of time, it is gaining more and more space and ultimately expelling darkness back to its original quarters. Now, having done all this, when a Hakam Adal appears, that is the institution of the Prophet, that is the purpose and function of the Prophet. When he resolves these differences, when he brings the light of Allah back into play, then what happens? A unified society is again carved out of that society which is split into sections and factions. The unity of God is no longer a unity in heaven. It becomes exhibited in the form of one Muslim body, insplittable body, one whole as such, where Muslim is attached in the most brotherly ties to the other Muslim, where the whole body of Islam becomes one body, like the body of a single person. This phenomenon is described in the Holy Quran in so many places. The verse I have chosen is this: وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ إِذْ كُنْتُمْ أَعْدَاءً فَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ بِنِعْمَتِهِ إِخْوَانًا وَكُنْتُمْ عَلَى شَفَا حُفْرَةٍ مِنَ النَّارِ فَأَنْقَذَكُمْ مِنْهَا كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَهْتَدُونَ. And hold fast all together by the rope of Allah. What is this rope of Allah? Where has it disappeared? Because the quality as described, when I will explain it in English, is the quality which imparts unification, oneness to the society which is attached to the rope of Allah. When that quality is lacking, obviously either the rope of Allah is lacking, or we are blind to it, its existence and its presence. We don't know how to grope for it, where to have it, where to hold it. So, what is this rope of Allah? This is prophethood. The prophethood and the institution of Khilafat which it leaves behind. Only perfect unity can be found at the time of prophethood in the Ummah, at the time of the prophethood, and in the following times of the successors of the Prophet. Once both the institution of Khilafat and the institution of prophethood are no longer accessible, then the unity also becomes inaccessible. It disappears and fritters away and splits into pieces and fragments. So the verse as translated in the Holy Quran is this, in the knowledge Shirley Sahib's rendering into English is this: and hold fast all together by the rope of Allah and be not divided. This is the quality of the rope of Allah. It will prevent divisions. And remember the favor of Allah which He bestowed upon you when you were enemies, and He united your hearts in love, so that by His grace you became as brothers, and you were on the brink of a pit of fire, and He saved you from it. Thus does Allah explain to you His commandments, that you may be guided. Now this is one of the greatest blessings of the institution of prophethood, which cannot be replaced by any other institution. This process can only be initiated by a prophet himself and by no other person. Not even by institution of Khilafat.